Alright, hello everyone. I'll just be sitting here keeping quiet, I guess, until everyone starts trickling in. Yeah, no, I won't sit quiet. I'm not really good at doing that. I'll quickly write a post on the forum. Managed to get a couple of good photos of my tropish mail. So I thought I'd add it. Post it up. Right. Nothing better than weekend. Hello, Aquarium Cops Online. How are you going, mate? What's up, buddy? Oh boy. Oh, just feels so good to be on the weekend and get to relax. That is for sure. Oh, it feels good. Right, what am I doing right now while I'm waiting? Check out the cost of some shelving units and some more tanks. Might do. Here we go. What have we got? Work out what can hold what weight too, actually. Yeah, cute. Feel free to jump on the live stream if you want a cream cup. You're more than welcome. Thousand kg. That's theoretical. Yeah, probably would work. 130 bucks for a metal shell. What are the dimensions? 1.8 by 900 by 4.8 mils. Not very big, but enough for a breeding rack. Yeah, it might do. What else have we got online? You may do your summoning, Aquarium Cop. Do your duties. Now, while I'm waiting, I'm going to go and do some feeding. So I shall be back. No, no one else yet, by the look of it. And something for the distance. Not even big. Something else. Right. Keep my guppy fry going nicely. I really want to see what I get out of them. Alright, just here you go, girl. Have them. Good girl. Yes, good girl. And that's me done. No, there's someone. No, I see just a notification. There's a few other live streams on. Sit back and relax. I hope they're not going to keep going on with that bike. It won't go down really well. Actually, it's been a wee while since I've done a FIshroom update for you guys, actually. Yeah, quite a wee while now. Just been update videos of various things I've bought, so I might as well do a quick fill-in then for those who might play the live stream back. When I was going to work this morning, we had a couple of killies. I'll get to see if I can find the photo. A couple of killies turned up, which was like, oh, not fair, not ready for them yet, and something I don't see here all that often, which is not fair, and it's prompted me into the thought I might as well grab an extra rack for the FIshroom, so I am prepared. Plus, I really need it for my guppies. Come in handy for other things later. I'm still getting the name up, it's only a wee bit of scrolling. Right. This is being difficult. Here we go. Finally found. Here we go. The old chocolate lyre-tail killifish. 65 bucks a pair here. I so really want them, but I can't stretch my tanks. If something goes wrong, I just can't. I need my space for the histogrammas if I need to separate them, and yeah, I can't do it until I get another rack. So that's that. Went out for a wee bit of a river scavenger after work today to find some more driftwood to add to the tanks. Also tomorrow I'm going to start on a sorting out my tubs for going outside for the summer for some of the more tolerant species. I always like the idea of doing the tubs because they're getting their own wild food as well as a wee bit of work from me, and it's just basic top off, rain top off, and Just run a basic air stone in it, depending if water changes daily. Won't take much after work. Now, it's all up in the air as to what I'll exactly do with it. Something will happen. So far, the histogram pair of Trichocercata that I've put together, they seem to be bonding okay, but I haven't seen any spawns yet. So, yet to see if that works. Hopefully it does. So far, no one has popped up. No one sort of pops up within the next sort of 10 minutes. It's kind of pointless sitting here talking to myself. Let's wait and see. Wait and see. Let's start taking some photos. Water change day tomorrow for some of the tanks. Ones that have missed out, most of the bigger ones. We did quite a lot of the smaller ones this week. Midweek, and some of the smaller ones about twice now. Just to keep them in good condition. Gonna do some more leaves, pull a few more leaves for some of the tanks. Which is the other reason why I want the next rack, is so I can start on some other forms of live food properly. Really need to sort that out. I'm tired of not having any. Happy fish guy. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Safe drive. Back. Oops. I was thinking about it today, actually. Yes. While I was driving to work, setting up another cichlid tank, go Malawi as well as tanking. You can quite a few of the peacocks I really like. There's actually some really nice stunning Malawis that I wouldn't mind putting in. I'm thinking I might swap my 100-gallon over, possibly put them in that, and get another custom made for underneath the 100-gallon to put them in, and the current Kenya maneuvers I've got, I'll swap out and put into another shell, possibly. At some point, I'm going to have to sell them because we'll get rid of these maneuvers. I don't need them, and they're going to need a new home at some point. Oh, it's pay gawning. Yeah, payday's going in. Sweet. That's all normal water. Sweet. It's all good in curve top. People turning up. So what you been up to, Aquarium Cop? Anything interesting lately? Actually. Stupid stuff. Rightio, looks like there's enough money in there to buy the enough money in the fish account to buy the new stand. So that goes. Well, I'm going to have a look at these instructions for the first, considering I've not even taken my time to sit down and have a look at it. 1 times free half serving of ferts to try out alongside Flourish itself. Full serving would be 1 litres worth of macro and 1 litres worth of micro. That's right, plenty of Flourish. Next macro sachet with 500 ml of pure distilled water or boiled water from the supermarket. Actually, while we're on the topic, I just did another test about tap water. TDS 66, pH 7.6. The KH is 5 degrees and GH is 6 degrees, which is quite a nice soft water, from what I understand. Hey, what's this Aquarium Cop? Ah, sweet. A few people coming in. Awesome. Thanks, Aquarium Cop. Great news. Great news indeed. What is that net thing? That's just a bit of broken down leaf. No weaseling without me. It's a new law in New York. That should be on the books. Well, okay, weaseling to me would be going out in the forest looking for a weasel and jumping on it. If you can find one of the things, is incredibly quick. That and there's so many of them around, and they're a complete pest where we are. Just about decimated all of our native bird species, including the kiwi. So how's the weather going in New York there, Happy Fish Guy? Oops. Oh, don't do that to me. I'm still getting used to this computer. I'll re-log in all my accounts from everything. Thank you. Done. Trade groups, fish, what do we got for sale around New Zealand at the moment? What do I need? Air pumps. Yeah, share filters have been interesting. You can get it cheaper shipped over from China. That's the exact same brand I'd be getting off AliExpress. Hello, what? What's happening? 4:20 a.m. Friday, August. Yeah, 8:20 p.m. Friday afternoon. So different time zone between us and you guys. Good part is we're coming into spring. And that I'm looking forward to. The old link's still, no, link's still up there for whoever wants to jump on. One golden arowana crossback, $2,600. Oh, that's cheap. 10 times Tropheus, Debosius, 175. Oh, that's cheap. L168, German line for $60 each. Actually, that's some nice fleckos. Jeff Dempsey's. Not a lot. Not a lot. Yeah, you can. I'm not worried. If you want to jump on, Cop, you can jump on. Up to you. I'm not stressed. Certainly not stressed at all. Hello, Facebook's going off. White is progressively announcing. Thanks, White. Boy. Nothing interesting. Quite a few of our local groups to see what's on them. Nothing much. Everything's going good, man. It just feels good to be off my feet and sitting down and relaxing in paradise. It's been a long week. I'm certainly glad I'm off my feet and don't have to work now. I shouldn't say I don't have to work. We go and do a bit of work with a secondary job, which is only short-term, helping the bookshop categorise and organise all their books for a charity fair. So it's all right. It's helping me out because I get to find some kind of rare books that I can't find here. Oh, hello, hello. Hello, hello. We've got a few shell dwellers for sale here. Nice. Nice, nice, and nice. Some of the cichlid breeders are popping up at the moment. Interesting. Anyone had anything new recently happen in their fish rooms? Any new purchases or tank updates or changes? Anything fascinating? Hello, that looks like those land fires are having a bit of a tussle the 2 months. Yeah, they are too. Sure, I'll get that ready for round 2 of breeding. Start them. Oh, are you able to show us that white? Because I really would love to see that. I really do like the idea of seeing some baby bedders colouring up. That'd be really cool. White's own selective line, is it? You're going to go and try and do some line breeding of them. Don't mind me if I keep picking my tooth and chipped it where it's last week. It's still not sitting right. Okay, how does that look? See how that goes. There might be a stuff up. No, not figuring out all the functions I've got on Hangouts. What else have we got to sell on NZ? At the moment I'm trading. Flatties. So not overly flash guppies. Oh, Pemba. Let's see if this Pemba. Nice. Very nice. Actually, they would be quite nice. Some rims. $7, some more Pleco. What else? RTS. Cribs. Discus. Cories. Pygmy Cories. Nice. Gold Nugget Pleco. 140. Albino Arowana. Just on $100. Not showing. Oh, sorry, Aquarium Cop. I've just been off the chat. Why is it not showing? What's going on here? I'm going to have to adjust to do that. Settings. No, nothing there. Don't. What shows you're here. It definitely shows you're on, but it's. See if you can see it. I've given you some control. See if you can find it. Trophy smile. Nice. Up from that's $50 each. So there's quite a few tank cichlids at the moment. Neolamprologus octilassetius, one of the shell dwellers, is $30 each. Nice Cadango for sale. Still some dull looking guppies. Very dull looking guppies. And not much of interest. What's in the chat? Oops. Caps lock. It's a wee bit quiet with just me chattering away. Feels weird. I'm used to talking with a lot more than someone else to chat. It feels so funny. I must say, looking at black neons in a shaded part of a dark water tank looks stunning. Just see a silver bar show up with a red eye. Very nice species, that's for sure. Someone sent me a link to a red-tailed vampire tetra. Now that is a stunning face. Very stunning face. Anything new in the chat? Really? My hangout's blank. I see your let's fix that. I did something stupid. Present. Yeah, wonder if that did anything. You're muted. Let's eject profile. And what have I just done? Nothing? No, it's all right. Stop presenting, hide from broadcast. No, you should be up according to my what it's saying. Hey Dennis, welcome along. Is it only you, Cream Crop? Is there anyone else having trouble getting on? As far as I know, it's not restricted. We'll try another link. It's definitely showing you there. It just, I don't know why it's not letting you on. The white, I can. I'll see white's in.
Yeah. Can you see me, yeah?
Yeah, I can see you.
Ozzy just turned up in chat as well.
Awesome. Right, hold on, I'm going to check, make sure a few other controls are good. Participants.
I can see mine on YouTube now, so I'm guessing it's Aquarium Cop's side for some reason.
Yeah, well, I've just been going through all the settings. I can't see anything. I know he's turned his speaker off, fair enough, but you know, I don't see why. What's wrong?
I mean, well, it's not your side and it's not Hangouts. I think it's Aquarium Cop for some reason. I'm guessing it's something to do with his settings and his camera.
Yeah, it must be. I just want to figure out where I go to work out how many people can hop on at once.
Well, I know Skype's unlimited, so.
Just hoping this is right. So how's your day been going there?
All right. Yeah, my day's good.
Yeah, what you'll be getting up about midday, aren't you?
Well,
not even quite that.
It's 20 to 11 now. Yeah, in the morning.
It's not too bad. Warm or what's your weather like?
It's been nice. It rained one day last week, God, but apart from that, it's been sunny since.
No, can't complain.
Yeah.
So I guess you'll be starting to get your way into autumn soon, won't you?
Yeah, I believe so. Is that? I'm not too good with the months of the year and that. It's August now, isn't it? So. Yeah. October, I believe, is more autumn, is it? For us.
Yeah, we'll see. For us, August, our autumn would be starting to kick in May. And we have a very short winter, so our spring's already hit, and we're not even hitting September yet. Now for us, it's spring, September.
We get a lot of snow and rain, and yeah, well, we don't even get much of a summer back in Britain.
Well, it must feel strange not having a summer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The British weather is so, it just rains all the time, like, and you get, like, you can have a nice day in the winter, you know, there's no actual, there are summers, but it's, well, you get nicer days, but it's still mainly all raining, so, you know, you don't get a nice summer in Britain. Whereas here in Spain, I've you know, I barely had much rain at all, so it's been nice.
Yeah, definitely. So, what's the rainfall like? More of a mist, or is it just a heavy rain in England?
Oh, in Wales, where I come from, it's just rain constantly, heavy rain as well. If you got light rain, that's counted as a, you know, as a nice day, like, you know.
Hey there, Alison. Nice to have you pop on.
Alison Ching. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Alison.
Yeah, so it kind of sounds like our West Coast. It just pretty much at some point somewhere along its coastline, it's going to be getting rain every day, all year round, non-stop. Not all of it, but most of it. And if it's not raining, it's flooding. If it's not flooding, it's a bit dry for a couple of days, and then back to rain again.
Just trying to set up my camera on my tank so you can see them. There's one of my baby bedders. Well, he just swam off the screen, but he'll come back. There you
Yeah,
go.
he's towards the filter then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Get rid of that because it's cluttering up my page. Right, now I'm clean. Yeah, your tanks look very similar to how I set things up there. Why? What's happening? Angelo's in the house. Good morning to you, Angelo. Starting to come alive now.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, certainly can.
I think I crashed a minute ago. I know my internet's rubbish here.
No, you're perfectly fine.
I could hear you, but I don't know if you could hear me. I don't think you could. So.
No, I can hear you the whole way through quite all right.
Yeah, well, I think it crashed a minute ago, but yeah, I'm back now without my camera, which is less internet usage. So, but yeah, I can turn it back on, but yeah, I might crash again. But it's all good. You were saying that my tank's set up like yours, or something.
Yeah, it looks so similar.
Yeah, well, I like the way you've set up yours. I don't know if I've set up quite like yours, but I tried to do it as natural as possible, like as well. I like my plant, or anything. I have a crayfish in there before I added those little fish, and well, I had it nice and planted, and then I put a crayfish in there, and it wrecked everything. So it's at the moment it's just trying to come back from that. But I just added some moss in there recently.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I'm just looking at, well, what's a riverbed? I'm imitating a riverbed as best I can. And I've found that whenever I've done that, along with plenty of leaf litter and mosses as they get older, once they drop their eggs in it, take the adults away, the fry turn up a few weeks later, a couple of months later, you notice them. It's like, oh, yay, things are looking good. Got stuff in here.
Yeah. With your leaf litter in that, do you leave it break down in the tank, and do you gravel back, or do you remove it after a while? Or...
After quite a while of it breaking down, I will remove it, yeah. But sort of every 3 or so months, I'll give it a bit of a suck up. But generally, I don't bother.
Yeah.
I know some people say, oh, you've got to get rid of it because it'll build up too much detritus and cause spikes. And from what I understand, leaf litter mullein it's not going to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm not so fussed on gravel backing. To be fair, like that's just. Yeah, I might give it a little scoop over the top, but I don't go digging around in the dirt or nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, like most the substrates in most of the tanks here, some of them are barely even a centimetre thick. It's just literally a layer of sand just for the aesthetics, nothing of use. If I'm putting plants in it, they go in wee little pots, and that's got the clay and a bit of shingle or sand on top.
Yeah. No, well, that one's got a sand planted dirt substrate by Tetra, I think it was. The tank that you were looking at. I haven't got my camera on now. And if I turn it on, it might crash again. And then I got my planted tank with my plecos in front of me, and that's got a shrimp safe substrate with some iron clay. Even though I do have I don't have any little shrimp in there or anything, but I think it's to stop pH swings, isn't it? Something like that. Like that's, I don't know. My plants are doing all right in there. My bowels doing all right. I don't actually know what that plant is. My water wisteria is going nuts in there.
Looks like some sort of sword.
Oh no, that's crit. Is my picture still on? I haven't even got my camera on at the moment.
No, I'm just looking at this tiny wee picture.
That'll be aquarium cops, that is.
Oh, it is too. I've just noticed that. Yeah, I just noticed that. I'm noticing that.
Yeah. There you go. There's my tank.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah. That's crypt in the back. And if I take the camera, that's my other tank I got there.
Yeah. No, that looks good.
There's a Galaxy Pleco. It's up there. There's no Pleco over there. At the moment, it's dirty. I've been away for a week and a bit, so I haven't been able to clean it yet. It's had no water changes, no cleaning or anything like that.
Yeah.
And Pleco under there. I think that might be a blue phantom. Oh, that's the inspector.
The inspector.
Yeah, well, they call him something else, and it's Snowball. Is it Snowball Pleco as well?
Oh, that name rings a bell. Yes.
Yeah, I think Danny just got a Snowball Pleco as well. Danny's aquarium, that was just in chat a bit ago.
Yeah.
Rams. So you got that group of rams, but they just well, there's the two males.
They do look nice.
Glitched in. There's one female to that male, and then there's that male and that female. And a group of rainbow fish up here. I don't know why they're all bunched up in the corner. It's probably because I just turned the light on and it's not meant to be on for hours. Yeah.
There's enough of a sight barrier in the middle to at least divvy the tank dead in half.
Oh yeah, that's it. This male keeps this side of the tank, and then that male that's behind there somewhere, but there. Yeah, it keeps that side of the tank. And then, yeah, they always meet up in the middle and have a little battle, but then go back off to their own sides. So I bought 5 of them, two males and 3 females, by the looks of it. And they've been all right, apart from the other female, which I haven't really seen at the moment. Oh, no, there she is. There she is. There's the other female. There's 1 female, there's 2 female, and there's 3 female. So yeah, there's still all there.
Oh, you got some cribs in there too.
Yeah. But they're both female, I believe. So I need to go and get a male. Yeah. They got that. Their home is that pot back there. They love that pot.
Yeah.
I fell for them. You see it, there's a pea puffer just swimming back there. You can just about see a little shadow of him. Yeah, there you are. He's coming closer.
Hello, someone's building a 3 high 20 long stand this weekend. That's going to be fun, Alison.
Oh, nice.
Hmm. You going to build it, or was it cheaper just to buy a pre-made metal stand from like one of the Home Depot shops or something like that?
I know the good quality ones of them can get, a bit high priced. Whereas if you're just using cinder blocks or something and bits of wood, like that's probably cheaper. But yeah, if you were going to build a metal stand or whatnot, then yeah, you could probably buy one for cheaper.
Because I know for me to build a timber stand, like cinder blocks the cheapest. But if I build a timber stand versus a factory-made metal frame from any of the depot shops, the timber's about $12 a meter, and by the time I set up your frame to suit everything, I could just pick up a $120 stand that can take a couple of ton.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I was looking at one before, because I'm probably going to buy one tomorrow. $129, and each layer will take 300 kg. So that's not a problem there.
Yeah.
Provided you don't go heavy on work or something.
I haven't got no racks yet, so I'm gonna stands. I got my little tank on the kitchen surface. I got my big tank on the floor, and I got this tank on 2 little tables. Like,
when you say on the floor, have you got? I hope it's not directly on the floor.
No, it's not directly on the floor. Look,
Sweet.
It's got your wood underneath it. It's got like a 2x2, is it? A square, like rectangle stand underneath it. Then it's got a bit of wood on top of it, then some foam on top of that, and then the tank's on top of that. See?
I have a feeling that my tetras have just spawned and are now chasing the eggs in and amongst the leaves. Because they just literally tail up, head down, smashing into the leaves, making a mess.
Yeah.
So doing a good dance last night. And they also were before I started the live stream as well, so who knows.
Yeah, you might want to try and breed them with a net.
I certainly will.
Thing or whatnot.
Will.
My new Tigress pleco is there, but you can't see it. It's too dark.
Is it just in between that wee gap that was there?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
tail sticking out, but you can't really make it out on the camera. Yeah, there's like 11 plecos in here now, I think. Pretty sure. So it's getting a bit crowded, but I want my 3 beacon pleco to grow up a bit, because then I just stick him in the big tank. And also, what is it? So that's quite big. So if that grows up a little bit more as well, that can go in the big tank. But at the moment, I got my turtles in there, and I got some Oscars in there. So I don't want to go sticking any of my small plecos in there. I want them to grow up a bit first. I got a big pleco in there as well. He's there.
Yeah, there's nothing better, Angelo, than having a coffee and watching your tags. It's what I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning is coffee and relax. Watching the fish room. Well, of course, and do some water changes. I take it White has lost his connection temporarily. Welcome back again, Happy Fish Guy. See you soon. Oh. Oh boy. Who else is interested in popping on for a talk? Because I see I've lost White. Oh, that's better. Decramping the leg. Nothing more entertaining. Just grab this link, see if it works for you guys, because it's a something White and I were talking about before, but I quite enjoy the way they set this link up. Oh no, it's not going to link. If you copy those Epistogram and 50 pair and put it into the old YouTube search, you'll see what I mean. The guy's got his tank set up nicely. So I can get the link to work properly. There we go. There's the link. Anyone else wanting to pop on? Well, I'm just going to get up. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to have a look at my batters. That's right. I'll have the torch inside tonight. Here she is. It's still not covered up. I wonder if it is a shoe. Back again. Finally got to see the female. I'm pretty sure I've got a female scarlet batters. Yeah, they're well worth it, Alison. They're well worth getting. I love it, Mr. Groman. Keep collecting them whenever I see them pop up in shops. Great personalities. Stunning colours. They don't take too much to care for with a wee bit of research and just a wee bit of forethought, and they're great wee species to keep. Highly recommend them. Well, according to Google Images, that is a female scarlet batters. What else reference can I find? Proper research. I'll net it out and check. Tank mates for them. As long as they're not something ultra aggressive and bigger than them. Mine are housed with various tetras. Tetras, Corys, no issues. I've had them housed with Rams, Discus, no issues. They don't seem to get bothered by much. I just wouldn't put them with extra large cichlids that are more territorial. Definitely not. The only time you'll probably have a problem is if they decide to spawn and the female chases everything away. But that'd be easily dealt with if you separate them or just have a male. Right, well, according to some bits and pieces I'm reading, I definitely have a female scarlet batis. So now I've got to set the tank up properly to spawn them. That's got to get done now. List to do. No, well I've got a, well I know it's a bit bigger, but I've got a 50 gallon, I think 18 Stubby Cory and a Pistogrammus trifurcata, no problems. Didn't have any problems with a Pistogrammus McMaster Series, Bolivian Ram Discus with about 30 Bronze Chorus and Broca Splendor in a 83 gallon. There was no issues at all. They're not necessarily overly territorial towards the Coras. It's the only time I've noticed them get territorial to anything else is their own species. Occasionally the Trifurcata will have a go on SAE if it gets a wee bit too boisterous around it, but Siamese alligators are a different kettle of fish. They don't bother anything, but they can, I think, give the Epistogramma a bit of an annoyance if it comes too close. Catch you later, Angela. Sorry, I just noticed the post. Sorry about that. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Duckweed up to your elbows, eh? That's good fun, aquarium cotton. Good fun. Some ways I love duckweed, and other ways I can't stand the stuff. It certainly seems to eat up. If you've got it, it seems to take quite a bit of the excess nutrients out of the water and demotes the algae growth in my experience. Not promotes, demotes. Catch you later, Angela. Have a good one. Your tank is showing their aquarium cut. Well, it is on my end. I can see it. See if can anyone else see it now full screen? What happened to Ozzy? He was here just a minute ago. What happened to him? You got Google Hangouts there, Alison? Because if you do, feel free to jump on and chat. Oh, what am I going to do about Pastagrama's tank and breeding? Feeling that 11 gallon up there is going to be quite useful. Apart from the fact someone came and borrowed air filter from it, so it's currently got no filtration, so I have to readjust that. That's all good. Always happy to help fellow aquarists out. Cool. That's all good, Alison. Thanks for stopping past, and it's great to have you along. Got any questions, just hit me up on the channel, or just keep tuned. I'll be doing regular live streams Wednesdays and Friday nights. Great to have you on. Thanks for joining. Don't mind me. I'm just going to go AFK for a few seconds. You want to just keep an eye on the chat for a second, Aquarium Cop? Magic Crypt. Set that tank up tomorrow. Some filters, oh, yeah. Where were we? What have I missed? Looks like it's just you and I, Aquarium Cop. So, man and two to stick it through. What is going to happen now? All I'm doing right now is just looking at a Hycrophilia jungle in my 50 gallon. Swap the camera so you can see what I mean. That is a jungle. Absolute jungle up there. What do we got here? Another video I watch on the autopistogramus. What happened to White? Because he was here just not long ago. Must have lost his internet. Send him a message, see if he comes back. Well, if our extras turn up by 9:30, I might be calling it Room Cop if that's all good with you. It was originally going to go to about 10, so we're quite close to it. It's not bad. I say the sitting here in a fish room is just a nice way to unwind from work. It is how you want to unwind from work. Absolutely relaxing. I might do a post on aquatic forums, which is aquatic forums, for those who don't know, is just a main forum as well as on Facebook. Aquatic forums is where I've been on for a very long time now, and it's been a very helpful forum, so I'm always an active member with them. Help to promote them whenever possible, because they helped me along with the hobby when I first started out, so I always do everything I can to help the community in any way possible. So yeah, those who are listening in, feel free to pop over and check out Aquatic Community. They're a neat community, good members, great times, good chats, good discussions, and a wealth of resource in that community. I think I'll do a post on the Facebook one. So, explaining how to relax after work. Alright, I'm going to write this post. Relaxing after work. Step 1. Make coffee. Step 2. Open fish room door. Step 3. Sit down. Step 4. Drink coffee and watch nature all around you. Post sent. Oh. The old aliens of the Wi-Fi. Yeah, all sorts of things happen. Thanks for the push there, Aquarium Comments. Really appreciate it of you. Thank you very much. It's just one of those things. If people get busy or another stream's on, whatnot, it's all good. We've all got busy lives. Just happy to share with those who turn up. I must say, I do miss the Fish Fam talk we used to have with Tony and Tim. Actually, talking of which, I haven't seen Tony online for a long time. Delta Strata. What happened to him? See you off work tomorrow there at Cram Cop, or you heading back to it? Give it a couple more minutes. If nothing happens, and might do a wind up. Check out what's on the old sales groups locally. By the look of it, not much. And the fish room is starting to turn itself off. Hey, hold on. Tim and Tony were the best, and then the rumor was created and it chased. Because I remember coming along to trying to do at least 2 to 3 a night, and things seem to be going along great. And everyone just went reclusive. I occasionally get a response from Tony, but everyone else just sort of vanished. What happened? The old fish room slowly shutting itself down for the night. Joys of automation. I've since then. Yeah, I heard about. I'm sorry if I say it wrong. Akash passed away. Yeah, that was sad. I remember him popping up on. I must have only found Tony and Tim maybe 3 episodes. Actually, Aquarium Cop, I think you're the one who recommended me to the channel, actually. I think. And I remember Akash turning up. And then, yeah, I saw the tribute from, oh, sorry, I've forgotten the guy's name now. I've got to find him. This is bugging me up. I've completely forgotten who he is. Who am I subscribed to? Subscriptions. I'll find it in a minute. DPK. Might have been DPK or you who introduced me to him. I remember DPK did the tribute to him, which was really, really nice of him. It's sad to hear about these people that in the predicament of having to deal with this emotional stress. It's not nice. Really isn't nice. So, feel sorry for him, man. Chris Cornell. Yeah, he's gone. But cheer up there, Aquarium Cop. Let MTS take over and just keep going with the fish because it's paradise and takes the stress away. Let's see. So this rumor, I take it sort of caused a bit of a rift and a secretiveness in the fish fan by the sound of it. That's a shame because Tim and Tony really poured into it and done so well. It was really going places. I noticed some of the nights we had some great good chats. Yes, certainly is. They are certainly a happy place. Yeah, Aura, you're not the only one depressed, though, because I'm pretty much the only loner in my way who cares about fish. There are tons of people around me who have fish, but they don't sort of go to this level, so that's why I really... What? Deleted all the video? What happened? Am I missing something? Because if you want, Aquarium Cop, pop on Facebook and type in either aquatic communities or hit me up on Max FIshroom That's capital, well, exactly the same as it's spelled on my channel. You'll find me on there. I'll have a picture of Golden Connects and send us a message. Or Timaru Aquarium Society, you'll find me on there and hit me a message. Because I wouldn't mind knowing what happened, because that that's yeah, okay. What else can you use? Give me a minute. You got Tap Talk? So if you got Tap Talk, you could join the forum on that and private message me. No, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, so that's why bees went quiet on me then. Hey, Dan, you found us.
Finally, 100 years later.
How's the commute home?
Pretty long.
Yeah, I guess the traffic will be slightly different to what I'm used to at the moment.
Yeah, definitely one of those trafficy days.
See, like for me, like I've been driving to work 60 k's to get to work, and it only takes about 30 minutes because there's no traffic on the road. Oh, that's right. There's only a population of 30,000 people. Oh boy. Been a quiet night tonight.
Seems like it.
Yeah. Oh, White came back. His internet died. That's good. Good news. I was starting to get tired of talking to myself.
I'm trying to get caught up in the chat now.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of those pretty trafficy days.
Oh boy. Just trying to remember. I think it was 2003 when I was last in America. Wish we did end up moving there.
What were you doing?
We went over to visit my aunt, and we were going through all the paperwork to go there. And on the way across, Dad just sort of thought, "Oh, I really miss being in New Zealand where he grew up." So he decided to cancel the application to go to America, and we went there for 8 weeks in America, but we came back and lived in New Zealand instead. Be a lot easier fish keeping if I was in America.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. America makes it easy because there's Petco's everywhere.
Yeah, $1 per gallon sales. Now that's cheap.
Makes it easy.
It's also a lot of it, I think that's probably a population thing, but maybe it's just the way way your shops are set up. But here, the shops seem to just like to dictate what the prices are, and they don't really match competition or match the internet or the world. And if you go and tell them, sort of like, well, I can buy this from a shop 3 or 4 towns away online for this, I want to support your local shop, will you budge? And they'll just refuse and lose the sale. And they go, oh, just go and buy it on the internet, then you don't care about the locals. They just sort of throw it at you. It's sort of getting me a bit depressed now.
Yeah, that kind of wouldn't be a great attitude for a business owner to have.
But like, we're getting ready to have Amazon turn up here now, and a lot of the shops are traumatized because it means they're going to have to cut their prices by about 300%.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But they don't realize we're sort of, well, that's what kind of has actually been happening in the world, and you guys have been on the gravy train for quite a while.
Yeah.
Right, what have I missed in chat?
No, I think because you're down in New Zealand, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And I had a friend who lived in New Zealand for like 3 years, and he said it's super expensive.
Oh, well, it's actually, I was watching a video, you know Rachel O'Leary's channel.
Yeah.
I was watching hers, and she said with the fish room, the house, and the engineering shop, $350 a month power. Here, if you were running that, you could be looking close to $1,500, and you're only looking at about $100 difference between USA and us. It's just like our fuel's $2 something, about $2.10 a litre.
Yeah.
Food, you can easily spend about 200 New Zealand dollars for 2 people for a week. Your paycheck just vanishes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said.
Like, we're kind of lucky because we're away from the North Island, which is pretty much where most of the population is, and because of that, the housing cost and rents are a lot cheaper, but the wages aren't as good either.
Yeah, I try to figure out the standard of living, you know. I don't know. I guess I just look at it differently.
There's a lot of things here. Like, when you get to know things and understand what goes on, it can be quite good. Like I'm a tradesman, so we're sort of in New Zealand. If you're a tradesman, you're kind of the upper end of the middle class as such. Money's not too big an issue, but it's sort of one of those things. You still got to be careful here.
Yeah.
But in saying that, how many countries can you go, say, catch a marlin, shoot a deer, go skiing, and have time to go on the lake and do some water skiing as well, all in one day? We're able to do all of that at once. Well, not once, but in one day. But on the whole, like, I find there's a few things here that are really cheap. Like, it's cheap to fly from town to town. I find it cheap. It's really cheap to ship, say, like from our North Island down to our South Island, like a 1,500+ K shipment. Like a live fish shipment's about $40 to have it insured and shipped down from our Auckland to where I am, and that's very cheap in my eyes.
Yeah, what are you shipping though?
Just whenever I do live fish orders, or if I'm doing other things, it can even be less, a couple of dollars to ship. Anything's really pretty cheap to ship. The only time it gets expensive to ship fish is if it's a private sale, because people seem to like to make a bit of profit off the shipping versus most of the shops.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So you ship fish around the island?
Yeah. Yeah, we ship them around our island.
It's got to be quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, it can be. It's sort of like a North Island winter's about 13, 14 degrees. And then once you hit the South Island and go down sort of halfway, you're sort of averaging temperatures around 5-ish degrees and overnight minus. So you got to be careful when shipping in winter.
Makes it sound tricky.
Yeah, it can be. But it's all doable. The good thing is the trees are starting to show signs of life. The garden's getting some flowers in it, and spring's on the way.
That's got to be nice.
Oh yeah.
So how long you been raising fish for?
That'll be about roughly 10 years.
Man. So you do a lot of your own breeding then too, huh?
Yeah. I started out quite a long time ago with just one tank, and then you usually get your old multiple tank syndrome kick in, and before long I was having a few issues, so I found a forum and stuck with that forum now the whole time. And if for some reason it leads from one thing to another thing to another thing, and all of a sudden you need more tanks.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
what happens.
I guess it's got. Oh yeah, I guess it's kind of kind of an obsession now, because for us, if you want a certain species that you see overseas, it's very hard to find them, and if they do turn up here, you buy it, and you always have to have an extra tank spare ready just in case they pop up on the mail list. As soon as you've got it, it's like must have, must breed.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've been lately. If I own one, I need a few more.
What's the fish supply like in because you're in New York, aren't you?
Well, Washington.
Washington. Same state as my aunt.
You got family out here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does she live out here?
She's moved. Last time I remember, Seattle suburb of Puyallup.
Wow.
My grandfather lived there for a while, mostly Alaska, but he did a tour in, I'm trying to remember which one. No, it was Iraq. Yeah, he did a tour in Iraq. He was there one day, and he got invalided out. Didn't even get to the base, just hopped off the plane. I think they were only off the plane 10 minutes, driving down the road, and that was it. The thing was blowing up.
The car?
I think they got IED'd by something, and then all he said was he got sent home, so many months recovery, and then a year or so of rehabilitation, and now he lives in Thailand in retirement.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens.
Yeah. Though he seems to be as happy as Larry, because he's married 4 Taiwanese ladies.
At the same time?
I'm assuming so. There's actually one thing I did really miss, was driving around the suburbs in America. They were so nice. The roads were decent size, the footpaths were clean and nice, proper easements. It just flowed, whereas it's so pokey here. Just about like walking around London.
Yeah, that's the big plus, is it makes it easy to get around out here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go grab a glass of water real quick, and then I probably should go check out chat real quick.
All right. Right, what am I missing on chat? Yes, we do love them $1 Petco sales. I don't get them. Even if we could be paying $1 per 15 litres, we'd be lucky. I wonder why the Petco ones die on you. Is there anything in particular you change when you're doing your routines from the shop to them, or possibly an acclimation issue? I wonder what's happened. Because I know what you mean. Some shops can just have nothing to trouble with, but it's always a cause some.
What?
I was just reading Aquarium Cop's comment. It's I swear the few fish I've bought from Petco all died. I swear to God, I just can't go there. I get tempted to buy fish and then they die.
Yeah, you can't buy Petco fish. It's a sad truth.
That kind of sounds like, well, we don't have anything like that, but we if you go to like a local pet shop, you've got to be really careful because you're pretty much guaranteed it will die before you leave the door.
Wow, I see Allison is causing a ruckus in chat, and White's in there, and luckily we got a cop, keeping everything halfway in check.
Well, it's all right. He's got a wrench for a reason.
Holy moly's. Man, there's a lot of fun stuff going on in chat.
Yeah, Alison, we do live in a beautiful place in the world. But you got to remember, we've got some of the most polluted rivers in the world nowadays. Yeah, Aquarium Cop, the grass is definitely greener on the other side. Yeah, you've got some much better options than us in laws and also in other options. Not to mention some better vehicles, because some of the Japanese stuff is utter crap. And the cost of living, I don't think will be as big a problem in America, but then I don't know if the wages would be equal. What does a builder get over there? Yes, Alison Jones, it's a governmental propaganda about clean and green NZ. That just doesn't exist. Google Christchurch, Christchurch, Canterbury, NZ, and put in Selwyn River, various lakes up there. Some of the lakes are so toxic, you don't swim in them, you'll have health issues. Your dogs will be dying, fish are dying, rivers are drying up. It's just ill-managed, over-irrigated, and the government just wants to keep selling water off to overseas markets for everything but our use.
So I'll share with you guys the thing on Petco Fish and PetSmart Fish.
Yeah.
I did a little looking into where they get their fish at, and if you ask them where they get their fish, they won't tell you. Okay, and I said, but you guys all get your fish from one place, and she goes, well, they all come from the same company. Yeah. She says we have direct business with one company, so she says we only get our fish from one company, and that's whatever they do to all the fish, they're all fine now, right? That's what she said. And I go, but you can't give me that company, right? And so, anyway, I was asking her about a breed of fish, And I says, and I wasn't aware that this company had that breed of fish, and that's why I was asking you if that was the company, because I think that's the company you used. And she says, well, I can't confirm that, you know. And I would go, you can't tell me that, you know, the company. And she goes, I just can't tell our customers where we get our fish. And I go, that's cool. I go, it's not like I can go to them in Florida and even talk with them unless I'm going to buy like 5,000 fish. I know the deal. Anyway. So
what's that? Sneakers Farms.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's the bottom line. But when Petco gets their fish from Seagrass Farms, because they're tropical fish, they send them to a warehouse in upper Arizona, right? Outside of Phoenix.
Yeah.
And from there, they get shipped to Petco's across America. Okay? By truck, typically. So, that being said, then it hits Petco, right? And this, what I'm describing is when a fish gets into Seagrass Farms, it's either raised at Seagrass, which is about 20%, or the other percentage comes out of the wild. So basically, because you can't keep a fish in a bag for more than 24 hours, your fish gets caught in the wild, ends up at Seagrass and thrown in a tank, pulled out of that tank and rebagged, and then basically goes to either gets flown or trucked to Arizona. Okay, so now it's going down the road, pretty shitty water, been exposed to whatever, right? Nice breeding ground for crap. Gets to the new place, goes in and out of that tank, picks up whatever, right? So we're talking like by the time it gets to the Petco, it's already been in and out of 3 tanks.
And not only that, if it's not being flown, it's being trucked, so who knows how many extra hours is added onto its day in that bag.
Exactly. So when you get a fish at Petco, because we know that it's not sitting at Seagrass for 2 days, and we know it's not sitting in the warehouse at in Arizona for more than 7 days, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, because it's live fish, none of these companies want to actually hold the fish for 7 days or 12 days because they don't want the liability of the death. So that's, and it's just not good policy to keep anyway, so they're getting rid of these fish so quick that they, like Alice in Chain says, they're no quarantine process on their side. Anyway, so by the time you get your Petco fish, he's already traumatized, 4 tanks deep. And now you take him home and you're going to throw him in a possible 5th tank. And all this is taking place in 2 weeks. So the likelihood that your fish is going to recover in the next 2 weeks is pretty slim. And that's why every Petco has a 2-week guarantee. Because they're kind of like, hey, if it survives 2 weeks, then it's you that killed it. But if it's, because they pretty much know that it's been exposed to ick or a heightened amount of ammonia or, 2 or 3 other stresses, and then sure, that allows whatever else disease to take over. But, diseases are always attacking fish. But if the pH is good, the water hardness is good, there's not too much ammonia in the water, the fish's immune system can most of the time fight this stuff off. But
that's
when you have
quite interesting you bring that up, because I'm just sort of correlating it to us. See, we've only got a couple of importers here, and for us to bring a fish in, our biosecurity must have the importers either licensed by them and checked by this biosecurity we've got, which are pretty much the same power as your DEA, isn't it? Drug Enforcement Agency, or whatever they call them over your way.
Yeah.
I got a similar thing here. So the fish comes in, they have to prove when the fish arrives that of however many ordered per species, I think the number was 10%. As soon as you hit 10%, the entire lot have to be destroyed if they're dead or got disease. So that everything that's shipped here has to be done quickly, correctly, efficiently, from reliable wholesaler. Once they're here, quarantined, looked after, then once that's gone through however many months, processed onto the importer shop, who then has to get them ready for course being shipped around New Zealand. And we don't tend to have that big a problem like what you've got, because our to get the fish into our country goes through a hell of a lot of rigmarole.
Well, the flip side of that, and you should be very thankful for this, but New Zealand is one of the top 5 countries in the world for aquaculture, which is the raising of fish or mussels, or right? You guys have a whole lot of fish farms.
Yes and no. We do have mussel, oyster, and a few salmon farms, but not what you call massive amounts. I know Aussie's got more than us.
Well, I know that when I go shopping at Safeway in Washington, and Washington State, I don't know, like outside of Alaska, to me is like the salmon capital of the world.
Yeah.
But I'll see New Zealand salmon, because your salmon season is 6 months off of our salmon season.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
And so because of that, right before salmon go to spawn, that's the best time to get them in the ocean, right? And it's when they come up out of the deep, because they're heading back to their freshwater stream, that they're easier to net. So that's the 2 reasons that make salmon right before they spawn the choice. So for me, because I eat so much salmon, I can always taste the difference between a 2-year salmon and a 4-year salmon. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But the bottom line is that because you guys have such aquaculture going on, your government is really strict about letting any kind of a disease that could affect your aquaculture. Yeah, it's definitely fun stuff to understand.
Oh, they are really good with that biosecurity. But in saying that, if I just say went to Rachel O'Leary and said, ship me over such and such, she just shipped it, I've got an 80% chance it'll come right through border security and they'll never even look at it. We've also got the flip side, they're lazy and don't check, but if you're actually honest and declare, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
But as for the salmon, I find that a bit funny, because I live 2 hours from some of the biggest salmon farms we've got in New Zealand, and they're landlocked. There's no way they can get out to sea ever. They're stuck in canals.
Are they farming in the canal?
They're farming in the canal. So what they've got is a series of, hold on, give me a sec, 5 glacier-fed, snowmelt-fed hydro lakes. So the lakes are just our country's source of power. So each lake is in sequential height, and in between each lake, the canals that are connecting them have all got salmon farms along them, and they don't get into the oceans.
Makes a lot of sense.
There's some in the lakes, because all the lakes have got an ability to do it. But if you go from lake, the first lake in the river, second lake in the river, you go from there up, that's it. They can only go 2 lakes from the ocean. You go to the next ones up, that's the end of that. They're landlocked permanently.
I like the landlocked salmon. You know, it's funny because when I first got into fish keeping, I was trying to figure out what to keep my fish, right? You know, it's just because I've only been keeping fish about, I don't know, 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
And it blows people away because, you know, like I sit at my desk here. Hold on, I'll move my video around real quick. But like, so there's my angelfish, and you know, I raise those guys, and then I got my guppy tank. That's one of them.
Hold on, can I just see that red guppy again?
Yeah, that one up there.
Yeah, that is actually quite a nice finish on that back one. He's really nice.
Yeah. So this is one of my breeder tanks.
Yeah.
So you come to these guys. These are my fire tails.
Yeah.
See that's a nice tail right there.
Yeah.
And then there's some red snake skins in here, but there's some big fin. Like that's a lot of nice fin on that guy. Then I cruise over than my angelfish tank. And I don't know, there's about 100 babies in here. They're hard to see, but yeah.
It's certainly like the dense plant cover. It makes it so much easier to deal with fry, I find.
Oh yeah, that's the only way they survive.
Yeah.
So I keep swinging over, and that's a pickle jar. It's got an auto water feed system going in, so it's always overflowing.
Yeah.
It picks up water from the power filter back there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing is always so fresh water. Anyway, I got veil-tail angelfish in there, about 30 of them. I drop brine shrimp in there, and I pull the hose out. And then all the brine shrimp, and I just do that for about an hour. So they have a chance to eat all the brine shrimp in there. And if I swing over my 20-gallon, but see, look at that color guy. Yeah, there's some beautiful, beautiful guppies going on. This is one of my, I think that's one of my females right there.
That's a female.
Yeah, but look at her tail color.
That's a very nice tip to it.
Yeah.
Are you going to start doing some line breeding at some point? Actually, got 2 of them.
Yeah, so that's one line. Yeah, see, that's a female right there with the rainbow tail. And people go, how did you get that much color in a female? And I go, well, you should see what she puts out for males. But yeah, I got to figure out what lines I want to breed. And then if I swing around real quick, I'll just go under my desk to my other angelfish. Yeah, they live at my feet, kind of crazy. I come back up, and then I got that tank over there. It's hard to see, but there's about 150 angelfish in the 20-gallon. And they're separated. And I got a 30-gallon tank, and there's 2 red shoulder angelfish in there. So, yeah, they're kind of quiet. But yeah, my friend was like, Dan, you need to babysit my fish and help me move, and I don't have space for them. And I was like, okay. And all of a sudden they started breeding, and I had to make multiple tanks. And then he came to my house and looked at what I'd done in 3 months and was like, Dan, this is ridiculous. Like, you're ahead of me in fish keeping, and I've been doing this 8 years. And he's like, you've done more in like 2 months than I've done in 8 years. So I just have fun.
There's a video I got on my channel with one of the breeders up north of me. We had a couple of earthquakes over the last 6 years, so it kind of knocked a lot of his stuff down. But at his peak, and he's done, I think, 40, 50 years, 800 tanks. And that's not including his saltwater and various other breeding tanks he had as well. It was just the main shop breeding facility. And you just look at this guy and he goes with a big grin on his face, work is so much fun. It's not stressful, is it?
No, I enjoy my fish.
You go on forums much?
Yeah, I just listen to what people are doing, and then I just keep learning everything I can.
The reason why I asked, you said you got a friend in New Zealand. You don't happen to be on Aquatic Community, are you?
No, just this one.
The only reason why I asked is that there's a fellow there I know does a lot of he likes salmon, coincidence, and does a lot of fly fishing. And he's got a buddy here who is here and does a lot of fly fishing. That's all. Coincidences.
No, yeah, and I've met one of the guys from the local fly fishing shop has been to New Zealand like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times to go fly fish.
Yeah.
And I told him it was crazy, and he goes, Dan, he goes, I go on fishing trips 4 times a year. So he's always picking, but he goes, New Zealand is just where it's at.
Yeah, there is some good trout fishing here. But yeah, originally I'm an Australian, so I was kind of spoilt with some of our freshwater game fish we had. So I could put a fully grown trout on the end of a hook for bait.
What are you fishing for?
Yeah, over there I'd be going for some of the bigger barramundi or Murray River cod.
Wait, I don't even think I. Let me see what a barramundi is. Wow, that's a pretty vicious looking fish.
Very nice eating too. And then put in Murray River cod.
Wow, that doesn't look like a cod. It looks more like a bass.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, for you guys, actually probably would be very similar to your bass in shape. The only thing is they get over 100 kg.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're big. The only problem with it is when you catch one, you've really got to have your drag set good and a really decent reel, because they'll just go to the nearest log and you'll never get them back out.
How big do the barramundi get?
I think they've got records in the 100 kg mark, but generally they're not quite that big. They're more about half a meter to a meter with probably 10ish, 20 kg mark. But they do get some really big ones when they go out into the salt water. I'll actually check what the Google record is for biggest.
So yeah, this is actually, I guess the barramundi is a perch.
It is? Right. What have we got here? Yeah, we got them also. Africa's got them around the Nile River as well.
Yeah, so I went to the family that this the family that it's under. The barramundi.
Yeah.
So when you look up barramundi, it said it's among well-known members of this group are cichlids, California sheepshead, bluegill, damselfish, snappers, bass, and perch.
That sounds correct.
Yeah, so yeah, on this barramundi, like when I was looking at it, it most reminds me of California striped bass, which are an incredibly vicious species. And yeah, it's true. You could take a whole rainbow trout and pitch it out there.
That's not only that, their mouth is one of those ones that can just extend, kind of like the old tarpon.
Yeah.
If they want to engulf it, they'll engulf it.
I used to take a windsurf board out when I was like 15 on this lake, and I would paddle around and wait for the big striped bass, like these 40-pounders, these landlocked, and they would chase the bass up into the shallows. And so you're talking like I don't know, some of these things are like 30, 36 inches chasing these bass. But basically, I'd throw out a jointed lure that was like 8 inches long. And people were like, they'd see me jump on my paddleboard. I'm like a 15-year-old kid. And people were like, kid, what are you doing? This is not the ocean, because I had a big surf cast rod. And and I'd go out, and then the pain of it was when you got a fish that was big, you had to try to paddle to land them, because otherwise he would just tow you around the lake on a paddleboard. I mean, I was running 50-pound tests, and you can't put 50 pounds against a paddleboard and not have that thing just start skating across the lake.
Oh, no, I know what you mean. It definitely will.
Yeah, and I was just
Hop in the chat. I put a name in there for you to search up. It's an Australian version of our bass. You'll laugh. Hey, Ozzy, you're back. You found them?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the
They're
same
different.
fish.
They're just small.
Yeah.
Ultra aggressive, highly aggressive, but they're just, I've never seen them big.
Yeah, that's funny. They just stay small.
Hmm.
Yeah, it says
I've had it before. There you go ahead.
yeah, it says maximum size is like 5 pounds.
That'd be about right.
All right, let me get back in chat. I think I might be missing some fun. Who's causing ruckus over here? I see Aquarium Cop is chilling with Allison. Let's see. Aquarium says, Dan, show Mac your million tiny baby angels. Well, they're not all that small anymore. They're growing up. So I'm getting good there. Yeah, thanks, Allison. I'm keep learning every day from awesome fish people. You know, my knowledge about fish. I think it's all the other crazy stuff I know about.
What's Allison's question here? Something about some lakes must have salinity to help them breed. What's she meaning by that? Don't see the reference further up.
Where is that question at? Oh, some lakes must have salinity.
I don't know. I wonder if she's meaning for like the salmon that we were talking about.
Well, yeah, salmon's one of those. Yeah, that's what she says. Salmon. So salmon, the salmonoid family is a very rare species that has the ability to be born in fresh water and then go into salt water and then actually come back into fresh water. And the biggest problem with the salmon in fresh water is after they've been in salt water for 2 years, if they're a pink, 3 years if they're a dog salmon, 4 years if they're a red, and 5 to 7 years if they're a king. Basically, the problem is once they get back into fresh water, they don't have any of the defenses against fresh water, all the parasites, bacteria, and fungus. And the second part of that is that they're not eating a high protein diet of herring anymore. They're starting to feed off of their fat. So once they hit fresh water, they start to deteriorate and die. But the awesome thing about salmon is that they can stay in fresh water all their life and show no ill effect. But I can notice the taste of salmon that have been raised in fresh water, i.e. freshwater fish farms, against salmon that have been ocean raised or naturally raised. There's a very slight salinity taste in the meat, and I actually prefer mine with that little bit of salinity. So other people like that salinity taste gone because then they're just tasting a more pure meat. But yeah, I dig salmon.
Yeah, because those lakes up there, I know they can be pretty high in high alkalinity, but definitely not salinity. Nothing at all like that. A lot of the salmon we got in the low rivers come back and forward every season and out of the ocean, do their spawn, drop straight back out to sea.
So
and you definitely taste the difference.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's the rainbow trout or the steelhead. So there's only like one species of fish that see the big difference about like the steelhead and other fish is some fish will, you know, they'll spawn in a like a freshwater estuary, where salmon are actually going to swim like 1,000 miles up a freshwater stream to a shallow spawning bed away from all the predators.
Because we've got some Chinook salmon and quinite salmon here, and the quinite will go up as far as they can go to wherever their last spawn was and turn around and head back out.
Yeah.
The Chinook that we've got are all landlocked. They just go between one lake and a river. And the not all, only a few of our big rivers, well, particularly down the South Island, have rainbow trout, and there are not that many rivers that have it. They're all browns, and the browns head out to sea. So do the rainbows from time to time, but I've not heard of them going out for long, and they're generally around the river mouths, and they sort of, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so the trout is the only fish that has the ability to swim upstream and back. And so like here in Washington State, you know, if you talk to Fish and Game, they'll put a tag in some of these rainbow trout, and they'll tag them, and they'll catch them. You know, the tag will go off, you know, and it'll hit a research boat somewhere down in Oregon. And so that's where the guy says, yeah, we can tell that these rainbow trout are swimming like a 500-mile loop, you know, along with the salmon. Anyway, the rainbow trout will come in, they'll hit the river, they'll go up river, they'll spawn certain time of year, you know, groups of them will do it. The whole group will basically go back out to the ocean. About 10% of that group will die off because they're too old or whatever. But he said, yeah, they will continue. And so some of these steelhead trout, well, that's what they call them in Washington. That's when they go out to the ocean. Fish and Game calls them a steelhead, but it's a rainbow trout. Yeah, but it's just going to the ocean and coming back. But yeah, they'll do it 6 or 7 times, sometimes as much as 12. And sometimes these fish will come in twice a year and spawn as opposed to the once a year.
I remember one of the seagoing trout I got. You could just feel the difference between fighting an ocean-going one and a landlocked. The landlocked just was so sluggish.
Yeah.
The ocean one took off, and he knew exactly what he was doing. And when you got to eat it, just absolutely delectable. Because most of our ocean trout are just pristine condition. You go to freshwater and they taste like mud. I've just popped in another name for you to search up, something that would here will outfight the salmon and trout without trying.
Let me see. I just see Allison Chain says a steelhead is only a steelhead if it's ocean bound. Otherwise, they're trout. Funny story. How I know, but I do. Now I want to know how you do. You have to cam up one of these nights, Allison, and share the fun of what you know. And I like the 4-pound bass pull you around on a 2-person inflatable. Yeah, I was pretty much on a windsurf board, so I'm like a surfboard with 50-pound test and a 40-pound fish, and I just like hold on tight. Yeah.
I'm also first on the
I was getting towed around so bad, you guys, one night that these fishermen came and were like, dude, just jump in the boat and, you know, help me pull in a 40-pound striper, which I took home and got pictures of. But I was like, what about my
hold on a sec. I've got YouTube playing up in the good sec. Sorry about that. Thanks.
Yeah. I was like, what about my windsurf board? He's like, just leave it. He's like, we'll come back and get it. I want to see the size of this fish, you know. But yeah, they couldn't believe it, you know, because here they are trout fishing and not having much luck. And I'm like, yeah, because there's no trout in this lake. There's only striper and bass that are smart enough to hide out in the lily pads all night. But yeah, these guys were laughing. So, well, what was funny is, you know, my dad took me out fishing there like 4 or 5 days later. And there was the guys in the boat, and they were like right up in the lily pads waiting for the striper. But the guy told me, he goes, for 2 days we've been trying to do this, but we haven't had any luck. And I told him, I said that they don't, stripers are afraid of the sound of your boat motor. They're really sensitive that way.
Oh yeah, some fish don't like motors. I know that around a lot of our ocean reefs. If I come in with the boat going instead of just drifting in, a few of the cod we got, you won't catch them.
Yeah, they go to the bottom.
Yep. Just look at chat. I've dropped you another species name, something that hangs off our coast and will go up our freshwater. Check it out, and then I'll drop you in what will eat the species I've just linked you. You'll be quite shocked at what we can actually catch here.
No, so I never seen this. They call it the Eastern Australian salmon.
So more or less, if you want to eat one, you got to bleed it, and you got to bleed it as soon as you catch it if you're going to eat it, because you just got to bleed it, and they will bust off 20, 30 pound braid as if it's nothing.
That's a crazy fast fish, though.
Oh, they're fast. And they jump, really jump. But they go right up fresh water if they want to.
So it says it's not related to the salmon or the trout.
No, not related at all. But they do go up freshwater rivers in search of food if they want to go up.
Do they spawn in freshwater though, I wonder?
They might spawn in estuaries, but I don't think they'll go up for that. No, I think they only go up there hunting food.
Wow, that guy looks like a little beast.
And what you got there is a fully grown one of them is what we use for bait for this. Here's the other one.
All right, let's see.
So that what we call kawai, we put on a hook as a live bait to catch these things. These will tow you around on your dinghy.
Oh yeah, that's one of the favorites up here though too.
Yeah, you guys will have a similar version of it actually. I know Florida's got them, a type of it.
Yeah, because I was thinking this is a because isn't this the one off the off of the coast of Washington right now too?
I remember seeing some video on YouTube about a guy down south of yours fishing with something like it, but it had a slightly more yellow to it, no green top. Can't remember what it was called, but a very similar shape. That's one thing I wished I could catch, is one of your redfish.
Oh, out of the Gulf states?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are fun. That would probably be my only reason to go south.
Because I wouldn't mind trying one of them.
Yeah, I think, it comes to me, fish-wise, I probably just, my big thing is I really like to eat the lingcod. Halibut, like the white meat fish.
Lingcod. I wonder if it's the same type as ours.
It's the ugliest
yours
fish
got
around.
A spotted body. It looks like a massive set of teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, complete opposite to us. To us, that's stunning.
So why did you have to bleed that salmon?
If you don't bleed them, their meat it goes like the tuna. It just goes revolting.
Wow.
You either cut the head off or cut the tail off and just hang them up, and they'll just drip blood for ages.
Yeah.
Oh, they're one of those fish you hold on to. You know how, like, when you get a tuna, your whole body will shake while it just keeps trying to move?
Yeah.
they do the same thing. They'll just shake you.
See, I'm one of the only people I know. Well, actually, I know a few people that bleed the salmon when I go salmon fishing. And so my friends will tease me. They're like, "Yeah, I found this guy, Dan. He was like out salmon fishing. He had like 2 fish hanging from the trees, man." And it's true because I'll bleed them, and then I pretty much put them on the barbecue within about 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, it won't let me post that. Okay. I'm admin. I can post as long a link as I want. Right, I'll see if I'm... Yeah, here we go. Here is one of our lings. Because yours is a bit different to ours.
So Allison caught the most... Wait, not most beautiful. Caught the biggest fish of my life, a 21-inch trout. Told it was a steelhead, throw it back. I did. I was on the Hells Canyon Reservoir, Oregon side. Talked to Fish and Game on my way out, and they told me. Oh, let's see. Mac got a new fish room. I mean, got a new fish up.
Yeah, that's what our ling is. Our ling looks like.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same.
No, it's completely different.
Yeah, that thing doesn't look like it's good to eat.
They're not bad. They're deep sea, but I prefer to eat just a bit of sea lettuce, to be honest.
Yeah.
This though is one of our prize species for eating and also for fighting. Whatever you do, the sort of thing, you don't put your thumb in its mouth because it'll go right through all your fingers if it's nothing. They crack open mussels and various other types of shellfish we got. But these are good eating. And very expensive, $57 a kg.
Wow. Oh, the blue cod, yeah.
And they put up a fight. Even though they're not that big, they put up a decent fight.
Yeah, because this thing looks like what we have in Alaska. It's called the black cod.
Could be similar. I'll have a look. I know your halibut, black. Now, your halibut, don't they start off life young somewhere down in the lower states? Or am I thinking of a different species?
Yeah, I don't know of anything that starts off lower and then ends up there.
Because I was watching them catch, do they call them flukes? No, I don't think it's flukes. Something, they had a name for them. For us, it's like flounder. They were catching them in the lower states, and they said they progressed their way up north. And I'm wondering if they're the type you're meaning.
I don't think halibut, I think the ones in Washington are just Washington, and the ones off of Canada are Canada, and the ones off Alaska are Alaska.
Okay.
But I think Alaska, they just get a lot bigger, like the 400-pound range.
Yeah, see, like the biggest ours would get is about a kg.
Yeah. Yeah, but for me, that's probably one of my good fighting fish is them halibuts. Well, what I used to do, I was kind of bad. I go to these small freshwater streams, and the halibut doesn't taste good, by the way. These halibuts, they're just fun to fight, right? Anyway, so Alaska, they have like bays that'll be flat for like we're talking like water that's like 4 feet deep, right?
Yeah.
And 70-pound halibut will come into 4 feet deep water and eat the decaying salmon that are coming out of these little streams, right? So I'll go fly fish these little streams, right, and get a chunk of salmon. And then if nobody's looking, you're not supposed to use bait salmon as bait. But anyway, I'll take a big tail and I'll hook it on my pole and I'd throw it out there. And the big deal is the fin flying through the water acts like a big spinner or spoon, a big attractant, right? So you can really attract these halibut, and so I was out there fishing and I had my ocean gear, right? And I basically walked out the tide, a big loop, and dropped this salmon tail, and I think I probably had out about 600 yards of line, right, on this fishing reel. And
it spooled it?
I spooled it, yeah. And so basically I knew about where the halibut were hanging out. There's a little depression area. Anyway, so I start bringing this thing in, and I get to the spot, where the halibut. I didn't want to spook him out of the 4 feet. Maybe it was 6 feet of water. But anyway, yeah, so I get this halibut, and he's basically in like 6 feet of water. And just takes off on me. 70 pounds. Luckily, I'd already had I'd already brought in about 200 yards of line. So when he did that run, but the great thing is he wasn't able to go down. That's what halibut do. They go to the bottom. And since he was only in like maybe 4 or 10 feet of water, he just ripped, out as far as he could. And then the other great thing about this is because, then he swam the arc. Yeah, so he's like swimming the arc, like, 500 yards out. But yeah, I tore it up. And then there's all these schools of salmon that are just getting tore up. And all these salmon fishermen are just like, wow, what are you doing, buddy? But yeah, this other guy, he was watching from the shore. And he was like, what you need to do is learn how to catch halibut on a fly pole. So, you ever fly fish?
Yeah.
So you know how most guys are fly fishing like a 5-weight or a 6-weight, right?
Yeah.
And then if you want to do salmon, you go up to like a 9-weight, right? This guy he's out there with a 12-foot 15-weight.
Not only that, your arm's going to get sore holding onto the thing after a while.
Yeah, he had what I laughed at was that he had a holster where he would put the rod and it would catch a little holster on his belt, so he didn't have to hold the weight of the rod. And I was like, that's, if you have to use 15, I was like, I can't even fly fish past. Well, I don't even like to fly fish past the 9-weight. It's just they're just too heavy. There's got to be an easier way to catch a fish.
So with us, that first fish I showed you that wasn't the salmon, the first one, that kahawai for us, a lot of people go, oh, you got to go fly fishing and catch a trout or a salmon here. But as soon as you go and catch one of those on a fly rod, you'll never want to catch a trout or a salmon again, because those things will just dispool you on the spot, kind of like a bonefish. They just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, people used to tease me because I'd be out king fishing with my like a 9-weight, and I had a monster reel on this. But yeah, when kings would start to spool me, I tried to stop one time. I burnt my hand. I was like, the heck with it. So yeah, I actually got a leather patch, and I would just touch my reel to the leather patch because it had an open spool, so like you could hand break it. But I was like, screw that. You break against this leather patch. But yeah, when fish would start to run, I'd be like, but yeah, they're like, dude, how can you be running a 15-pound leader? That's crazy. Fishing kings.
There's some species out there which are solid fighters.
German brown trout, they get a pretty good little kick on them. I feel bad. I see Allison Chains wrote something and deleted it. She said the point is fish in a reservoir aren't ocean bound and therefore not steelhead. Huh.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that when I read the previous post.
What was the other post? I gotta go up now.
It was I caught the most beautiful steelhead trout of my life, 21-inch. Told it was a steelhead and threw it back. It was in the Hells Canyon Reservoir, Oregon side. Well, I was just under a guess. Well, it's a reservoir. Is it landlocked or not?
Well, actually, Allison, because I'll give you the best answer on that. So in Washington, and Oregon has different laws on this, which I think is funny because Washington State will take salmon and truck them up above the dams. Number one, okay. Number two, they also have fish ladders, and that allows fish to go in and out of all these different reservoirs. But in Washington, they will actually take fish, put them in a truck, and they take them up above 3 dams and let them go in the lake. And yeah, and then if the fish want to, they have a way to swim all the way back out to the ocean, tagged. And then, some of the salmon, they stay. But yeah, they are constantly trucking steelhead 2 or 3 reservoirs up, along with the king salmon. And in this particular river, they also do the pink salmon. And they don't really have a run of the dog or the red. Thought I was typing in my browser. LOL, you're too funny, Allison. But so here's the point, Allison. You could have there's a river I fish in Washington, and you have to release all steelhead. Okay, so even if I'm in a lake and I catch it's like a 36-inch trout, I have to release it. Like this one lake has a 16-inch limit. So basically you can catch trout between 12 inches, or not 16, but 18, 12 and 18 inches. And if it's over 18 inches, you got to release it back. So, and then the other lame thing I'll tell you that they do in Washington and Oregon is they fin clip hatchery fish. So you have to make sure that your fish is wild and doesn't have that fin. So anyway, there's 2 thoughts to think about. But yeah, you can catch a fish in a reservoir and might have to let it go because it's a steelhead, and you're like, 3 dams up. Oh, real quick, why I make this notation is because if you get caught with these said steelhead, it can be a $5,000 fine. And yeah, but most of the time it's considered poaching, which is $475. So I think it's worth my 30 seconds.
Yeah, it certainly is. We got similar. Oh, I'd have to get the book up, but we got similar rules as well from memory.
In the state of Washington, the driver's ed book is 27 pages long, and the fish, not the hunting, not because the hunting is bigger. But the fish book last year was 127 pages. So there's more rules to fishing in Washington than there is driving an automobile.
That's some, but yeah, I'm not used to that. Our book's about 2.5 inches high by 3 inches long and about 20 pages, and that's it.
Yeah, I went to Hawaii and I tried to buy a fishing license, and I was told they didn't exist.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So he says you don't need a license to fish. And I was like, that's crazy. So
yeah, that's a bit, yeah. Like here, you'd only need a license for fresh water. You don't need it for salt.
Yeah. See, Washington, you need a license for fresh water, and you need a license for salt water. I mean, you can go out and just get a freshwater license, or you can just go out and get a saltwater license. One's $17, one's like $22. You can get a combination license. Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, well, do you have to get a boat license with you guys or not really?
No, not really.
Because here we don't have to worry about it at all, no matter what the size of the motor you got until you start getting over, I think, 30 or 40 foot in your commercial.
Yeah.
You do need a radio license if you want one, but other than that, it's sort of like free for all on the ocean.
Yeah.
And in the lakes. I've just dropped in another link of one of our native gobies. Ah, Joe's on. Hey, Joe.
Wow, that's pretty smooth.
Hey, Joe, jump on Google Hangouts. Right, what other ones can I find you that we've got? We've got quite a few, but wow, a few gobies, but not many nice, colourful ones like you guys have got. You know, I can't post that link. That's way too big. Yeah, no, I can't post that. That's about 1,000 letters.
Hold on a quick second. I gotta get a drink of water.
Okay. Hey, Ellison, it's just one of our oh, they've got them in England, Lower Argentina. I think England, Argentina. I know they've got them somewhere in America, but different name. It's just another type of, well, we just call it a gurnard, and pretty much is what it is. You hold the things, you got to hold a rag, otherwise it'll rip your hands to bits, but they're very good eating otherwise, and also good fun to look at, because when they pull their fins out, they're quite stunning. Right, here is that one I want. I need copy. Right, okay, I see Joe's answered the question. Don't need the computer, Joe. Just put Hangouts on your phone and jump on. And good morning to you as well, Joe. Getting ready for another day of fish paradise. Is that all? Is that right, Joe? I'm gonna put my phone. I better let my wife know that I'm going to be a bit later than anticipated. Oh boy, I'm starting to get tired. It's been a long day. 5 a.m. getting close to 11 p.m.
Wow, that's funny. I was just looking at the sailfin Molly, and I was thinking that we have the exact same thing in North America, right?
Yeah.
And it says native to southern North America. These aquarium fish have been in New Zealand since the 1960s.
Yep. We've also got Corydoras that are now introduced here. There are supposed to be a couple of Denio groups around, Guppies and Platies, and someone reckoned there are tetras in our river now. Rivers in up North Island.
Well, it says your rivers are geothermally heated.
Depends on where they are up north, but yeah, some of the rivers are very heated and some of them aren't.
So some of your rivers are like at 80 degrees.
Some are.
That's crazy.
See, our North Island in winter, the worst of the winter is generally 13 degrees, where the South Island's a lot less. A lot less. So most of our rivers in the South Island in summer are about 7 degrees, sometimes a wee bit warmer. But up the North Island, they're verging on the lower end of most tropical species.
Yeah, I feel bad. I'm like, let's come to New Zealand and, put some fish in the river and see what happens in 20 years.
Oh, I'd love to see that, but hold on a sec. Alison wants to see what's going on. Oh, unfortunately, I'll shift the camera around. Most of the tanks are all off now. Everything's on auto timer. And my cord's not long enough to reach any of the Epistogrammus. And the only one that's got the light on.
I'm reading chat real quick, so I want to say congratulations, Joe. I'm off getting a marriage license.
Ah, yeah. Good on you, Joe. You certainly looked happy last time I saw the two of you out fishing.
All right, y'all. It's getting to be like 4 in the morning. As much as I'd love to stay up and have so much more fish fun, I'm going to probably have to head to bed here in the next couple minutes.
You're not the only one. I've just done from 5 a.m. to now, and I'm kind of getting ready to. I'm losing concentration.
Oh.
But no, it's good to have you on, Dan. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, definitely fun times tonight. Nice to see the fish fam swinging in and out from time to time too.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, I'm probably going to be booking myself a regular routine now because it's a way I'm able to work anyhow. What I'm doing, pretty much Wednesdays and Friday nights will be my usual routine. So if you want to pop on again, let us know, and I'll see you around.
I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you again. I see Joe B. I don't think I'm subscribed to you, Joe. I want to go see if it's worth subscribing to you.
Joe B. He's got some good videos on setting up tannins in his tanks. He's a fellow I've met on one of the forums. He likes river bio I shouldn't say biotopes, but more ecosystems and as close as possible to imitating nature as possible. He's got some good videos, eh?
All right, I'm gonna subscribe to you, Joe B. So I hope your videos are awesome.
7 a.m. Joe, come on. Oh, that's right. Hold on, I'm actually technically in the future with the Greenwich time zone, starting at Chatham Islands.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out where Joe's out in Florida.
Yep.
Definitely smooth. So where did the aquarium cop go this whole time? I think he's been hiding out on his couch.
I think so. He his tank's on display here, and I'm just watching these tetras go back and forth, but it actually started to look like they're on a constant loop.
You know, who knows? Well, he could have taught him to swim in a circle.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're swimming in a circle.
Yeah.
That's some good-looking fish, though. You got to admit, that's some good-looking fish. Joe B says, they suck. It's not worth it. All right, well, we'll check your videos out, maybe learn something new, and send you a nice note.
Oh, no, he's got some good videos. I've watched him for probably a year now on the forums, and he's got some good information. Really good information. Good videos. Good photos. He's just being modest. Allison's saying, "It's me. I'm on camera."
All right, good. What time are you getting up then? 9 or 10. All right, we'll get up and do something in the morning then. Sorry about that. My mic just slipped out, or my earphones.
That's all right. Well, guys, I'm going to be a party pooper. It's hit 11 p.m. here, and I'm going to go to bed before my wife starts throwing pots and pans at me.
Uh-oh. Allison says, "It's me. I'm on camera." Hello.
She's the blue one. Yeah, she shows up on YouTube, but on my thing, it's showing she's not here. Which is weird. I actually don't see her.
I didn't see her.
Like,
I think
I'm
she's
looking at
hiding.
hanging. That's random. Like, I'm looking at Hangouts and she ain't on it. So I've checked all the live controls. Nah.
She says, "Oh, sorry." She says, "Oh, sorry, I slipped."
No, I figured out what the blue is. It's yours. It's your icon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, she's definitely not on.
Wait, so I got to figure it out because my icon only shows up on Hangouts, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, from what I understand, your icon will be like, I think mine's set because of the email account, I think.
Yeah.
Gmail going into it. So yeah, if you had an image on your Gmail, then it would just automatically carry across. That's what mine did, anyhow.
Google Hangouts, I don't know, from Google, I think it should be a little better, but oh well. It's got some bugs and kinks and some things to be worked out.
Hangouts from YouTube, though, I've not seen any issues, but if I'm just using Hangouts on its own to talk to someone who is on YouTube, yeah, I have issues.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like, if you actually have the stream yourself and you're hosting it, no problems, but the other way around, yeah, different. But what is it with YouTube, isn't it? 100 subscribers and you can go onto mobile anyhow, can't you?
Yep.
Now you don't need Hangouts, if I remember rightly.
Yep.
Yeah. That's my plan, but they'll get there one day.
Yep, yep. Let me see what Allison is saying. She says, Aquarium Cop, let me name a fish after myself. It's the blue one. Her name is Allison. Where do you link up to a video via Hangouts?
That's a nice one, Allison, because I only see one blue in there. Good observation. Where do you link up to the video? Right, Hangouts. So if you've got Hangouts downloaded on your phone, you may need a headset. All I'll do is drop a link in like this, and then through your YouTube account, you click on your phone, click on the link, and there's the link, and it should automatically go to Hangouts. Well, that's what it does for my phone anyhow. But you might need a headset to be able to do it.
So, hey, is that a little cup of coffee in? We're gonna have to ask Aquarium Cop. Is that a little cup of coffee in Allison the fish's fin there? She's just swimming around the tank, caffeinated up and going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely. I swear it's in a loop, eh?
So we're gonna have to ask the cop how he taught the fish to hold the cup of coffee.
Actually, does the cop come onto the live stream and talk much? Because I don't think I've ever seen him talk on live stream.
Once in a blue moon, maybe.
No. Okay, Joe, that's all good. Just yeah, all you have to do is just when you want to come on, I'll just pop the link in, and away we go.
I'm going to see if the cop's going to bail Allison out. Although I got to say, your fish looks pretty happy. I mean, look, he's zipping from one end of the tank to the other. Wait, is that just because your fish is bossing everybody around?
Ow.
I thought I heard the cop in the background, but you never can tell because he likes to be sneaky and lurk in silence.
No, I'm watching the user panel and his thing's on mute.
Sneaky, sneaky.
I could be cheeky and unmute it, but he did say his kids are asleep, so if I unmute it and hear and all the talking, it might not go down well.
No, that's a good point. All right, everybody. I should probably boogie out of here and get some some sleep. But Allison, always fun to see your wisdom in the chat. You're very knowledgeable, which is awesome. Totally dig it. Put a smile on my face tonight. So much of a smile, I'm gonna have to go to bed now. Man,
I have no issues getting into ponds, netting out fish in the tropics. I will do that instantaneously, without thinking. And if you gave me a shovel and told me to dig a trench between the two ponds, I'd happily do it, Joe, without fear. Don't worry, it's a bit of an in-house joke between the two of us on the... Rightio, guys, I'm going to party poop and pull the channel.
sounds like a fantastic plan, and I guess we can all meet up sometime tomorrow night and cause a ruckus.
And if I'm not on there, all good. If not, I do see you all tomorrow. See you tomorrow. If not, see you guys when I see you next.
Definitely looking forward to it, Allison. You have a great night. Joe B, great to sub to you. I don't think White is still here, but fun to hang out with that guy. I don't even think I got to chat with him tonight. Aquacop.
No, White's great to chat with, eh?
He is so fun. Super fun.
Oh, yeah. So I enjoyed chatting with White. I always enjoyed it ever since I met up on Tim's channel a long time ago.
Yeah, Tim, I wish he would stream a little more, but he's been busy doing other stuff.
I know. When Tim and Tony were doing their late nights fish fam every night, it was just cool, eh?
Super cool. That was some good times. Maybe we'll get back to that. Who knows?
It'll probably get there. I think what it is like the seed's already done because there's been a whole lot of us sort of form a wee group over the last couple of weeks since that all happened, and it's like, well, we're still here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining in there, Alice, and thanks for joining as well, Dan, and thanks for popping on, Joe. And I'm going to be mean and pull the pin, guys.
All right, I'm out. Later. Bye-bye.
Catch you later.